What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another Fridge Financials video. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down some beginner-friendly options trading education here. What options trading looks like, how you get started with it, what's the pros, what's the cons, everything else that kind of covers the very much introduction to options trading. So if you are excited for today's video, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, turn on those bell notifications for all future uploads. Okay, so we're gonna get right into it here. Again, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, but we're gonna be taking you through this idea of the options chain. So what we're looking at on the screen here is the company that is Netflix. They're trading at about $91 right now at the time of recording this video. And you want to think about, you hear people all the time talk about trading options, making a bunch of money, 10x in their portfolios with options. You're like, I want to get in on this. First of all, don't go crazy, because not everything, as we know, is as it seems here. But let's kind of take you into the beginner ideas of what options trading is. So we're going to go over here and go to trade Netflix options. Now, what you're going to see here is a lot of data here, a lot of numbers that comes into play here. You have a builder, so if you're not sure what to build, they can have some beginner-friendly building strategies here on Robinhood, which is very cool. You have a buy button, you have a sell button, you have a call button, you have a put button, and you have an expiration date at the very top. These right here are your very much foundational starting points of trading options. Buying an option means you're paying for it. Selling an option means you're getting paid for it, okay? Because again, as we remember, anything in life, when someone's a buyer, somebody else is the seller. So if you buy a contract and you buy an option, somebody's getting paid for it. And if you sell a contract, someone's paying for it. So that's something to keep in mind about whether you want to get paid up front or whether you want to be the one to pay an amount of money up front instead. You also have what's called calls and puts. Calls are for if you're bullish on the company. Puts are for if you're bearish on the company, and you also have the expiration date. Your expiration date is about how long this contract goes until it expires, on what specific date. Okay. Now, as you see the options chain here, what you will also need to know is that each option that you purchase is equivalent to 100 shares of the company. Okay. Very important to keep in mind about. Okay, you get equivalent to 100 shares of the company as basically like leverage in your portfolio. And you just say, well, Fridge, what's the downside to that? Because I can just pay 74 cents for it. It's like, no, it's not even close to that way. That's not even close to how this works, okay? So let's say that you are a company who is bullish on Netflix between now and next year, a whole calendar year out here. All right, and we'll scroll all the way back down here to this. Okay, you're being very bullish on Netflix. It's been sold off quite a bit. You think it's going to have a little bit of a rally, and you are feeling very confident in Netflix as a position. Okay, so you would, if you're feeling bullish, you could buy a call option. You're going to be betting that it will go up in price. Now, when you are doing this, what the focus is that you have to pick what's called your strike price, which basically means that you want to basically either A, close your position out if it goes in the money for it, or B, you can exercise at this price. You have the right, but not the obligation to buy the shares at the specified strike price. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, let's say, for example, you think Netflix goes to $100 at least between now and next year. And say Netflix goes to $105. Well, if Netflix goes to $105 and you bought it at $100, you can exercise it for the $5 cheaper per share. But remember, it's 100 shares. Okay, it's not one share, it's 100 shares. So if you were to exercise and say, hey, Netflix is at $105 right now, but I said I'll buy it at $100, you'll be able to buy it at $100 at, 100 shares, which would be an equivalent of spending $10,000. Okay, so that's something that's very important to keep in mind about, is that you are paying for 100 shares, not just one, not just five. You would have to pay for 100 shares per contract. If you did 10 contracts, then you had to do, 1,000 shares, so on and so forth. Okay. So let's say you're being bullish on Netflix and you're like, hey, I think, Fridge, that's going to go to $100 by the end of the year. So you go to buy a call option and you're going to hit right here, this little plus button here. Now, what you will notice is that you are not having a max loss of $11. This price that you are paying right here is how much you pay per share. Per share. Pay $11.58 per share of Netflix. And remember, these contracts trade in 100 share contracts. So, what does that mean? 100 shares times 1158 gives me a max loss of $1,160. That's how much you can lose on this trade. Okay? Now, let's break down some of the numbers here. What you will see is as Netflix starts to climb, this is a bullish strategy here. As Netflix starts to climb, then you start to hopefully make some money long term. And your maximum profit is unlimited because Netflix, in theory, could go on and on forever, forever, forever. We don't know that, obviously. It won't do that. But in theory, it would. So the max profit is technically unlimited. Now, what you're going to notice here also is that at expiration, Fridge, I break even at $111, but I want to buy it at $100. So why is my break even $111? And the question and the reasoning is because remember, you're buying each share for $100, but you were also paying a premium of $11.58 for every share, which means your break even is going to be the strike price you set it at plus what you pay for the price that you see right here, which gives you that break even of $111.58. So if it goes to 105, as you see here, you're still down, just not down as much. Because again, your break even is $111. So if it goes to 105, okay, cool, you lost some money, but you didn't lose all of it, but you're not making money. Anything after $111.60, you are able to make money on this position. Okay, this is a bullish strategy that you're looking for right here. That's what this is focused on right here. It is a bullish strategy. You're looking for the stock to increase in price. Now, what you might also think is that if you buy a put option, that would be you betting on the stock to be going down or to be bearish in this case. So, for example, say you think Netflix is overvalued to the high heavens, and you think it's going to go to $75, okay? Again, you pay $5.88 for every share, and this is 100 shares worth that you are that you're buying into for this contract here. So that's your max loss of about $588, $590 there, as you see. But your break even is actually $69.10. Why? Because again, you are paying extra for it up front. All right. So, and the difference is with buying a put option is that you are telling somebody that, hey, I will give you my shares at 75. So if it goes down to $70, you still are able to sell your shares at 75 to whoever's the one you're looking at on the other side of this contract. So you get to sell them for a higher price as a result of it, but you have to factor in the premium that you pay for this contract for every share. So if you're ever looking for a break even, it's going to be the strike price. And if you're bearish, you take away the price of each share. If you're bullish and it's a call option, you have to add that in. All right. So that's the basics of buying a call option and buying a put option. Now, let's say you want to be on the seller side. On the seller side is if you wanted to sell a put, for example, so go back to the 75 here, you're basically telling somebody, hey, I'm selling this put here. I'm betting that it won't go to $75. If it does go to 75, then the other person, the buyer that you saw earlier, can give me his shares at that price. But if it doesn't, it stays above $75, I keep my premium, I keep what I was paid, I get paid this much here, and then we do it again. Now, this is what's called a cash secured put. Why? Because you need to have the cash available to buy 100 shares of Netflix at $75. which would be equivalent to $7,500. You need to have the cash available to buy the shares at this strike price. Where's the bad side to it? Well, if Netflix goes to 70, you're buying at 75. You're buying at $5 more for every share. You are overpaying as a result. All right. Now, what you will see is the break even is about the same as the buyer here because you're being paid this much upfront. So since I'm collecting $585, I can use that to offset how much cash I need to spend to buy the 100 shares. So $7,500, take away the $588, gives me that max loss here or my break even. Okay? So that's selling a cash secured put. The cash secured puts are very good for getting into positions of stocks that you like for the long term because you're being paid almost $600 to hope that Netflix doesn't go to $75. If it goes to $75, you buy it at $15 cheaper and you got paid $600 to buy it cheaper. Oh no, what a problem to have. So this is called a cash secured put here. If you're trading level 1 basic options, you need to have the cash as collateral. Okay? So that's something that's very, very important to keep in mind about. Now, your max loss is technically over about $7,000 because the theoretical idea is if Netflix goes to 0, you just lost all the money in those shares that you bought. Likelihood of Netflix going to 0 is very, very unlikely. Okay, but there is still a risk associated. So that's why don't freak out and be like, oh my God, my max loss is this. This max loss is if Netflix goes to 0. But if it goes to like $59, you're definitely down a lot less. But again, you're buying shares at a cheaper price of $75, where right now it's at $91. So you're able to enter into positions that you like for the long term at cheaper prices, and you get paid while you wait for it to happen. And again, if it doesn't go to $75, you just keep the money and you move on with your life and you're done. Woo, that's it. We're done. Great. Love it. So that's something to keep in mind about here. Now, on the other side of this, you also have what's called selling a call option. Now, this is called a covered call option, and you do need to have 100 shares of the company. So let's say you had 100 shares of Netflix at, say, $91 here, and you want to sell a call option for $100. What you are looking at doing here is that if Netflix goes to $100, you are going to be selling your shares. You are giving the buyer the right, but not the obligation, to buy your shares at $100 each. Why would you do that? Because you would lock in that premium appreciation of the share price. If you bought at 91 and you sell at 100, you made $9 profit per share. Now, on top of that, you also get paid a profit or a premium, I should say, not a profit. You get paid a premium of $1,155 or so. Now, what is the pro is that you get paid, which is great, and that you get to sell it at a profit for your shares. What's the con? Well, if Netflix goes to 110, you are still forced to sell at 100. So you have a profit cap. You're capped here at $100, and what you'll see is as it goes higher and higher and higher, you start to lose actual profit. You're missing out on potential profit. Because it goes to 110, you lost out on $1,000 worth of your share appreciation. You got paid $1,100, cool, but you missed out on $1,000 of share appreciation. That's why you're looking at about $100 that you make right over here. So covered calls, the pros are you get paid options for it. So selling calls, you get paid for it, which is great. You could sell your shares at a premium, at a higher price, which is good. Cons are it caps your upside potential. Selling puts, same kind of thing, where you're able to get paid, pro, get in cheaper, pro, but it also ties up your cash. So that $7,500 you cannot use for anything else until this position is closed. Whether you close it early or you wait till expiration, you have this position that needs to be closed before you can do anything else with the cash that goes aside, which is a con. Also, again, if the stock keeps falling, you are losing more and more value, as you will see. Okay? So that's kind of your basics into the options chain. Now, again, for me, if you're someone who's getting right into it, buying what's called leap options, whether it's super far out of the or out of the dates, gives the stock plenty of time to do what it has to do. Okay, going to June of 2027, you think Netflix goes to 125? Great. You're giving it plenty of time to move in your direction. It's called a leap option. You can do the same thing for puts if you want to, whatever the case is you're looking for to do. But that is your basic introduction to buying options and to selling options. Buying options, when you're looking at buying options around here, you are looking for buying a put means you're looking for it to go down, like so. Buying a call option means you're looking for it to go up, like so. Okay? But you're paying up front for those options. Selling options, you are getting paid up front. So selling a call option, you need the 100 shares because it's a cover call. Because again, if someone wants to buy your contract, they're buying your shares. You need to have the 100 shares as your collateral. But if you're selling a call option, you get paid up front. You get to sell your shares at a higher price, but it caps your upside potential. Selling a put option, like you saw at 75, allows you to get into positions cheaper. You get paid while you wait. Cons are you got cash tied up, and if it goes below 75, you're still losing value on your shares, and you're going to be assigned at a lower price than what you were looking to buy into. Okay? And again, your theoretical max loss is zero if the stock is $7,000. It's a big loss if your stock goes to zero. If you are selling cash secured puts, you should be selling these puts on stocks that you want to own. Not penny stocks, not risky stocks. It's stocks that you think have very good fundamentals that will do very, very well. That's when you want to sell cash secured puts on companies that you want to own. Selling cover calls is your stock gets some money. You want to think it's going to go to 105. You get paid some good money, and you're able to collect some premium as you wait for your stock to go up in price. So that is it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and you learned something new today. Thank you so much for watching. If you made this far in the video, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, turn on those bell notifications for all future uploads. As always, hopefully make money in the market in some way, shape, or form, and I will see you guys in the next video.